Why? Why are you like this, voice mod? Why? Hello? Well, that was weird. This for certain. I'm gonna move this to the other screen so I don't have to look at it too much. But you can tell when something is weird about it. Voice mod. I don't know what voice mod is doing. Give me a moment. Voice mod's dying. Keeps disconnecting itself. I'll be back. Whilst that's happening, I'm going to try. Alright, give me a moment, everybody. I think something's going on. I'm starting to wonder if it's not... Literally just disconnected my microphone. Alright, I'm gonna do a quick turn off of voice mod. Hello? Am I hearable? Understandable? was mine. Let's see how long it stays up. I'm trying to get things back up running. Shut up, cat. Okay, it is telling me the USB stuff is the problem, so I'm fixing those right now. Forgive me. I also can't hear things. Push. Unplug these. Less of a strain on the system. I'm gonna need to get my own USB thing for this monstrosity of a mess of cables and pins. So that loosened that. Which this. Where does this go to? Alright, cool. Very cool. Is the audio still working, by the way? Like, I can't hear anything, but am I still talking? I am. Once again, if you can still hear me, I apologize. I was gonna do a chill stream of me just doing stuff, and now I'm freaking fixing crap. Yeesh. Alright, let's start. Let me condense. Here. I do consider this important. I don't remember what this goes to. I love streaming, and by streaming I love fixing things on my computer because I don't remember what they go to. Oh, I should have organized. Saw this one coming a mile away. It's such a tangle of webs. No, I thought I did a good job back here, and then I come back here many years later and look at this. It's a mess. I don't know what this one. This one's playing the loop-de-loop game, apparently. I tied this one on something. I have no earthly idea as to what hotel that goes to. So I'm just going to plug this together and hope those can work in tandem to form an amazing bond of USB plugins that hopefully function as a proper team. Hopefully. Where's that? That is this. That. I want to relocate this to this. It's much more simpler for me to understand. This is for the audio. And that is for... That's for charging. Let's go to that. That's the one that looped you. I'm going to have to disassemble it at some point soon. Probably tomorrow. And the audio stopped. Don't switch. Baba? Are we still good? I just realized I can hear the noise again. The voices are here. I just disconnected a bunch of cables. And then replugged them back into their own things. And then kept a lot of my newly bought webcam cables. Separated those as well. Well, hello there. I still haven't done what I was originally going to do, which is fix my tags. My back hurts now from bending over at such an improper angle to fix things that I should have fixed a long time ago. I need cable management. I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. That's a lot of tags that I need to correct. Bah. I was pulling tags from my... What do you want to call it? I was pulling tags from my previous chill stream, and I didn't realize that I had literally just shoved it filled with Elden Ring-based things. Trying to just clean it up. There, I'll just... All right. Now, I guess I'll set this to entertainment. I apologize sincerely. That was an unnecessarily difficult start to the stream. But, hi. Oh, my back. You'll have to forgive me. I did not think that that was going to be such a problem, if I'm being honest. Yes. Hello. Welcome to a chill stream where I will be messing with things and kind of explaining things that give credence to my random disappearances into the void of explanations and such. I have been very lacking in uploads. I do this occasionally. This week I do have a pretty damn good reasoning for it. I will actually be showing the reasons for my random disappearance. I need to clean my glasses at some point here soon. But yes, I have been a busy beaver, as the stream says. Busy beaver who needs water. Let me grab that real fast. Or, well, I guess hydration, not water. I don't have water. I do have soda. That's enough water, right? Soda's got like what? a few percentages of water in it. I mean, it technically should be mostly made of water, right? I don't think these things show you carbonated water contains 2% or less of natural flavors. That's kind of funny. I don't think it shows you what's the actual percentage of water. But that is fine. I gotta set my alarm on my phone real fast. Oh, no momento. Alright, let me... I don't know when she needs that, but her next set of that. Okay, 8. Cool, I don't have to worry about that for a while. I don't know about her need for amoxicillin. So, what I just was blabbering on about just then. Hi, I've been busy. Allow me to explain why I've been busy. So, a few days ago, I think technically like 3 days now, my younger sister went to a surgery, specifically the dentist's type of surgery, to have, I hear my mouth, 4 wisdom teeth removed, or of her teeth removed. Pretty sure it's wisdom teeth. Yeah, either way. Yeah, she was hella loopy, completely gone the moment I pulled her out, but we've been kind of, like, when I say we, it's like me and my mom have been kind of back and forth taking care of her. I haven't had the ability to comfortably stream anything because I've been too focused on making sure she's okay. She is on an hourly system of, well, not hourly. Okay, when day 1 hit, every hour we had to exchange her gauze with new ones that were all, like, you know, watered and then slapped in her mouth. We had to, every 6 to 4 hours, exchange different medications. And the medication thing has been kind of going throughout most of the week. So everyone understands, as of right now, it's technically Sunday morning for me. We've been doing this since Thursday morning. So, yeah. Now, as of all of that, she's doing better. She's able to eat to an extent, like soups and stuff. She just recently had some, like, McDonald's fries. She would, like, nibble them like a freaking hamster. It was funny. But she is doing better. So there's those things are on an up and up. So that's good. The other prospect that has occurred is give me a moment. I was already on that side. I just want to check something real fast. I have a quandary that I would like to see. Cool. Alright, I was just checking something. Alright, yeah, we're good. Wanted to worry about that. So, beyond all of that, we have been babysitting her effectively to make sure she's good and able to heal properly. And yeah, feeding her is to the best of the ability that we have. The other thing that's been happening is, I'm not going to say much on this. This one just happened today, but it's been going on for technically over a year and a half. One of my friends was in a situation, mentally, where me and some of the others decided to pitch in and see if we could help them through a lot of it. We've been going back and forth separately, talking to them, and today was the day we all decided to, okay, let's legit sit down and just talk. And hopefully things will be on the up and up through, next few days. We've heard good things to come, so that's a plus, but today that's one of the reasons I was busy. Dealing with a lot of friends' stuff, trying to make sure things are emotionally okay. Now, the beginning of the week. Where was I during the beginning of the week? because the last stream you all saw from me was technically Monday morning for me. That afternoon, I worked, and then got home, and actually went straight to working on a side project. So, I have been tasked by my friend Dylan, aka Turbo Boss Gaming, I believe is what it is, to take the Zelda characters from my Zelda D&D, aka Calamity Remains, for those who don't know. That is a homebrew D&D that I run. But the characters I have made in Hero Forge, I will actually showcase. Gonna heads up, there are stuff in here that might be kind of spoilery, so if you want to take a moment to look away, I'll tell you when to look back, but you might see some stuff that's like, oh? So just keep in mind. With that being said, I'm now going to go into the spoilery stuff. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll start with, okay, we actually can start off really quickly. Right here. Let's do this one. So, I have been taking the characters. You can look back now, by the way. Spoileries are done. I didn't have to actually dive too deep into it. This is Aki. Aki is the warlock cleric of the group. I say warlock cleric. They're not actually a cleric. They're a warlock that has cleric-like abilities. Thanks to a technically homebrewed, but not my homebrewed thing. But we did critique it a little bit to make it a little better. My personal opinion. But, regardless, as you can see, in comparison to what you all have probably seen before if you have watched the series, his face is a little different, and his position's a little different. So, I have critiqued the model to emote in such a fashion that is kind of humorous and more exaggerated. This... Okay, I don't think I need a spoiler warning. No, we're good. Oh, this is the old model, by the way, for the ancient Omen. Wild things there. I might pull that up later just because it's funny. So we have... As you can see, some of these are labeled. So, like, this is Annoyed. He looks done with life. Pretty immensely so. And then we have... Let's see. Angie. I like this one because I actually changed the teeth to sharp to also emphasize that anginess. But where it really shines is when I click share and I go to portrait mode, where I have added all the camera coloring effects to give it that like Zelda-y theme. And now you can kind of see where it really turns into like that gamified look that you see in like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Granted, this model on its own doesn't look amazing because I'm having to, like, you know, bend and contort things that I shouldn't have to, but I do. It still kind of works out pretty well. But basically the gist is I've been taking these characters and slowly working them into emotes to be used in minor animations. That is what Dylan is going to be doing. Throughout the time, he will be posting these types of humorous animations from the clips that I have created myself. So expect those on his channel. They might pop up on mine. I don't really know. They might not. I don't really care. But for the most part, they'll be on his. It's Turbo Boss Gaming, in case you're curious. But besides working on those, I'll show you the other one. Now this one again, I'm going to give you all the spoiler warning, just in case. We're going to scroll down real quick. There we go. Let's do this one. This one's the funny one. I also did one for Burbo, or did a set for Burbo. All of them are kind of like based on like specific emotions and stuff. I didn't do his in portrait. I did his in token mode. That's funny. I didn't realize. But as you can see, Burbo is a much more joyous looking character in this one. Also, this is the first time people have ever been able to see the true model of Burbo. This took a lot. He's a beefy model. Because I had to heavily contort the model and stretch the body part to make him look like a Goron. And to kind of... It doesn't really show it much whenever you're not looking at it, but I did just use the basic shell thing they have here. Because you never really see his back. That might get fixed eventually. We'll see. For now, this is Burbo. I kind of personally like the shell design. I don't know. I'm a bit a fan of it. But as you can see, he's just kind of happily laughing. It's a fun little emote. Those are the two characters that I have finished to an extent that I feel is good enough right now. So while through the earlier parts of the week I've been doing these, and by the way, doing a full set is like 4 hours, maybe, probably more like 3 hours of editing, because you have to bone pose and bunch of stuff, make sure the camera angle's correct and everything. And then you have to go into other software to make sure that everything looks good photo-wise. Either way. Besides all that, the big thing I've been doing, and this is the big thing for me. That's cool and all. It's not the big thing. I have been preparing for the eventual return of the end of the beginning of the New Year's D&Ds. The biggest thing, obviously, being Omen. Because what you all see around the border, or that way, and then down, is basically the background of the thumbnail, right? It mimics the older thumbnail and the older thumbnail. But this time I've done a full color rechange. Even I keep wanting to point that way. What I need to do is I need to flip my camera around. So when I point that way, it's pointing the actual direction. How would that look? Oh, that's weird. That's really weird that way. I don't know how I feel about that. What's actually kind of funny, this works a little better. So this is the actual wall that is my house. Out there is everyone else. But what sucks about that is I'm looking this way, so it just looks like I'm looking into the wall of the stream. So we're gonna reverse that. But yes, regardless, everything on this side over here is been updated to an extent. As you see, the logo, curse light stuff's been changed. I'll be fully showcasing all the new changes here and now, just so everyone is ready and aware. So I'm actually going to add a image thing, and we're gonna do some swappaging. I'll just label this as showcase. Sorry, I'm doing some stuff in the streaming software to the best of my ability. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to be showing off not the recent thumbnail. I'm going to be showing off the original Omen thumbnail. So this, I'll shrink it down a little bit so you can at least see my face. This is the original Omen thumbnail, right? Just put it in the corner. This is what everyone is generally speaking used to at this point. Well, maybe not everyone, but as you can see, it has all the original characters and their current, or their older designs, by the way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But it's very similar to the background that is behind me, because it is the exact same background. Fun fact, I didn't know where this image came from for the longest time, because I forgot how I made it. Turns out, the image was directly from Hero Forge. I can actually show you. If I click, let me hide this. So if I go to scene, I can click this. Okay. And look, it's the background image. Look, it's over there. It's over there. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Just the fact that I could turn and point at everything. But yeah. So that's all of that. I basically took that image. I had a few different characters taken on like different sides, and then I just edited them out into two different images and then meshed them together. Very simple editing trick, but it was kind of funny to get done. But this is old thumbnail, and for those who know, the skeleton looking figure in this thumbnail was Quinn. They are the person that we unfortunately had to remove from the D&D. for reasons I will not explain. But because of that, I had to do an alteration to the thumbnail because I didn't want to have them in it anymore. That brings us to the current thumbnail, which is the one that people are probably most familiar with at this point. Which, as you can see, is a little bit more obvious in the changes here. Which, as goofy as it is, I kind of like it better. I don't know, the dynamic angle feels nice. It's pretty good. But I made a new one. So, you can consider this the new debut. You can consider this the debut of the new thumbnail that will eventually be posted. Which, funny enough, is actually the thumbnail for this stream. Kind of. Bubba Booey. There you go, folks. This is the new thumbnail in all its beautiful, wonderful glory. I will kind of move it and separate it from things so it kind of is a little bit more obvious. But, yes. Can I put this, like... No, I don't think I can. I was gonna see if I could put it in the same, like, square space that the other one's in, but no, it'd be, like, ruining too much. I'll just plop it in the corner over here. Oh, that's much nicer. Why didn't I just do that? Okay. So there's... See? This sucks! So, there's the thumbnail for you, over there. As you can see, the characters have changed. You know what I'm going to do? Let me copy this. I'm going to paste. I'm going to change this to the thumbnail directly before, so you guys can get a comparison of characters. So, this is what the characters used to look like, with Damien and his, like, more jackrabbity look. You have Albatross with his very beamingly glowing eyes, and his very kind of hodgepodge, like, bulky-looking suit for a ranger who is supposed to be sneaky. Then you have Gug here, who's just kind of, he's Gug. He looks weird, his face and everything. This is him, by the way, in his, like, half-transformed form. And then, when we scroll back to the... What is happening? Oh, did it swap because they're the same? That's so stupid. I'm sorry. I didn't realize they would literally replicate each other. That's really stupid. Okay, but either way, there you go. You see the characters. Damien is now no longer the way he used to be. Albatross has got a full change. And for those who have watched the series, you'll recognize the hilt of that sword and maybe the tip of the blade. Because, or the hilt, the handle, and pommel. So, it's a little loud. This has been this theme. So, that sword is the one he made all the way back in the first chapter of Omen, in the city of Baragnir. He is the handle and the guard, or is that the hilt? I think that's the hilt. The handle and the hilt and the pommel were elven made. Not in the greatest of conditions, but they were. But the blade was broken off near the like midsection. Maybe a little shorter than that. In that episode, he had it taken to one of the Dwarven blacksmiths and basically had because of the damage the blade had unfortunately succumbed to over time, the blade itself had to be fully replaced. So, he had the Dwarven guy basically do a more Dwarven-styled blade. And now meshing the Elven with the Dwarven came up with that sword. And it is now his new sword. And for those who know, would know that that sword is in relation to his family. Very specifically from his mom. That he stole, for those who do not know. Beyond that, you see Gug. Now, Gug has gone through a lot more of a physical change. Because where his clothing, similar to Damien, in this case, doesn't really change as much as Albatross's does, because Albatross is a full new thing. Because we wanted to make him look like his stuff's a little bit more hodgepodge. We wanted him to make it look like he actually is wearing multiple different types of armor, like he stole stuff. So you'll notice the knee pads in Albatross are different. You'll notice his gauntlet on left and right arm are different. The chest plate is, theme-wise, not very connected to anything he's wearing. But Gug, on the other hand, much similar to Damien, kind of so far has kept the clothing they have, and they probably will be keeping that. But his whole body has gone through a change. And I'll be showcasing them a bit more here in a bit. But as you can see, he's a much more beastie looking and less plasticky. Before he looked a little awkward, and it didn't work very well. So we did that. We updated that. I also, new thumbnail, I decided to change the whole logo as well. I think it looks much better like this. And also, in hindsight, the purple was a much better choice because, for those who are aware, the quote-unquote main villain, to be determined, is someone they've seen before called Severus McCree, who I actually have. Yeah, I can just move this in front so no one can see what I'm doing. Let me show you all who Severus McCree is as a reminder, because he's actually one of my favorite models I've made. I am hella happy with Severus McCree. I really do like that I could just put that there and then just boop. I don't know why his thing is like that, so let me put him right here. So this is Severus McCree. He is the current big bad. If he's to stay that way, that is to be determined, but this is who he is. He's a very, shall we say, trickster type of guy. But I made him a long time ago, and I bet he's so old if I click the head section, it's going to be like, you need to update his face. Is it not? Oh, wow. Did I already do an update on him? I might have. Because he was made a long time ago, but it does look like I might have done an update to him. But yes, Severus McCree and his dapperiness, he's kind of like the big bad, the main villain. Oh, I know, I did update him because I think this was made in Kit Bash, wasn't it? Hold on, let me see if I can grab him. Kit Bash already break on me? Oh, no, I can't. Okay, so that is just normal. Okay, either way. To continue with what I was saying. Basically, purple. the purple coloring of everything I wanted to kind of mimic and all the stuff around. And so I gave things a shade of purple that seemed a bit more ominous feeling than what everyone else was seeing originally with that like light green. Even though light green's my favorite, or lime green in this case, I wanted a kind of color rebrand to kind of fit the fact that the characters are now branched from the original first chapter. That being said, I do realize that the purple that you see around the screen and on this Mad Lad is very different shades. You have a more like a bluish purple versus his actual like magenta-y purple, or violet-y color. The other thing that is to note is, let me see. Let me slap this on top. What we're going to show you is the changes of the characters. So I'm going to be showing you all Albatross as he was. Full model rotation and everything. So this is Albie Boy here. What am I hearing? Why'd the music change? I just noticed the music changed. I had this bitch on loop. Loop means loop. Don't change. Why? I'm sorry. That has happened so many times. I tell this one song to loop and it doesn't. I'm gonna watch it again. Is it gonna loop? Let me bump it up. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't loop. Okay, it's looping. I'm gonna minimize. I don't know why, but it pisses me off. But yes, this is what Albatross looks like. Let me actually go to his token form, because that way you don't see him with all the effects. We'll just clear the board here. No, I can't. I'll get rid of that. You know, fine, we'll keep that little background. So this is Albatross as he was, right? Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, using a little bit of the trick of the eye there. Like, look, he's reaching for the arrows. Now I'm just meshing the model with his arrows. I mean, it gets the picture across pretty well. So you have him like this, right? As you can see, his armor, it doesn't have that mismatched feel that the other one does. It's all like a single piece set. It almost looks like it is more of like a uniform than anything. The only real thing that's kind of mismatched are his shoulder pads that you could really barely see, and his cape thing. I actually don't know what you would call that. But when I was talking with Kelly, I wanted to make sure that the new version had the feeling of like an updated design to him, including his face, because he's a vampire character, yet you don't really see it except for his eyes and his not even his ears, but just his eyes and like maybe the somewhat pale, darker skin he has. So I wanted to make sure that was something a bit more noticeable in the altered version, which I will now showcase. Now that I can just do this, I can just plop the picture in front. By the way, it's really cold outside, and I'm now beginning to feel it right next to me because my window. Did my heater turn off or something? No, it's still kicking. It's still kicking. It's just really cold over here. I might grab me a blanket. Actually, no, I have a better idea. Best solution. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch into PJ pants. What you guys won't see. I'm not a tease. It's difficult to slide into these. I normally don't wear PJ pants. I really don't. I only wear it when it gets to ridiculously cold temperatures. Fun fact about me, when I was much younger, I used to use these as outside snow pants because their rather thick comfiness protected me very, very well from the cold of the outside. I will also wear this, my jacket. Indoor party. Away from the cold. Hi, Simba. You want to come on screen? Come here. Everybody. Let me pull this. There. Behold. Simba. Oh, I'm sorry, Bubba. Mwah. He's a good boy. Oh, you're attached to me, bud. Alright. Bye, buddy. Alright. So, back to what I was trying to do. Let me show you his new version. While the bird twerps in the background. So, this is his... I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm just going to go to this. This is his new version. As you can see, he has so much more detail. And what I like is it does show the fact of what he is as a character. One, his face is a lot more gaunt, referencing more of like the vampire or vampiric style of design. Where it's like when you see a vampire in most showcases, they are a bit gaunt because they're normally, blood drinkers or starving themselves not to drink blood, which is something Albatross does on a lot of occasions. The other thing is you will now notice his mismatchedness, as I had mentioned before, is a bit more obvious. You see he has this, like, archer's glove. He's got this elven gauntlet. He has the mismatched knee pads. The belt kind of seems out of place. His chest plate's different from his leggings, and his boots are worn. Kind of looks like he took them off from somebody. What I also like is it also shows the implications of his ability to hunt. As you see, in his shoulder has these little fur things, and like a necklace right here. More in reference to the fact that he is a hunter, and has done hunting to survive. The cape, we added to replace his older cape, which I personally really like, because I was able to use it to also hide his new sword. We'll show that in a second. But yes, also we updated his bow to kind of reflect more, I guess, the elveniness of it, instead of it just being like a giant piece of wood that looked just like a stick. Because the other one was really bulky and I didn't like it. And I wanted it to kind of feel a bit more like he himself had made it. And Kelly kind of effectively agreed with that point, and thus we had agreed on this bow. I also really like it because it really matches the elven armor. So it does show you there is like a connection to the history of it. Now, from that, also he's got a hunting knife. That's very obvious just to tell what that's about. Oh, also his hair got changed because we were looking for a different type of hairstyle that was just a bit more, how do you put it, differently kept. It almost looks like he's been using just some, like, his natural oils to slicking his hair back or something, but no, regardless, that was just a minor change. The sword, however, is a major change, because I have been wanting to actually showcase this sword for a very long time. I just haven't had the chance, but now I do. I would like to introduce you all to the familial sword. This is a sword that is meshed between a bunch of different things to look like a singular styled sword. It has this fan blade thing. It has this like much more ancient-y looking blade. And then it's got two of these other blades right here and here to simulate the golden center of the blade. And then, let me see if I can kind of like show you this. Right here at the handle, that's a telescope. It's a telescope painted gold. And I had to paint the handle gold as well, so you don't see a lot of the imperfections of it from a distance. But like the side profile is not pretty. But it gets the job done, and in my opinion looks really good doing it. Especially because I was able to fold the cape around the sword, so it kind of looks like it's actually being propped up by the sword itself, which looks really good. So there's that. There is a part of me that thinks maybe I should have dulled the colors, but I don't know. It makes sense for it to be kind of fresh because it is still a new sword, and he's only used it like a few times. So I think it being that like brighter color makes sense because it was really recently refurbished. But from him, we're going to move on to another showcase. Let's show you guys, I think, the biggest change. Let's show you Damien. Alright, so this is Damien as he was. He looks, in my opinion, a bit more like a jackrabbit, and I'm not sure if that's an appropriate description. I'm going to take a quick look at what a jackrabbit looks like, because I actually don't know. Yeah, no, that's a very accurate description. He does look a lot more like a jackrabbit, which isn't what he's supposed to look like. He's supposed to look like a bunny, like a cute little bunny. And we did not get that. We also added him green hair, which Ethan later told to me in a conversation that he didn't really want. We just did to add like more color to his character. And I kind of agree. The hair, it doesn't need the green. It really didn't. So I went to work, as I do. Boink. And I made a new version of Damien. I edited the model heavily and gave it a much more adorable look. Look at Damien. And you'll note that he still has that same, like, Brooklyn-y, cocky attitude towards him, but he is a lot cuter looking. He looks pettable, which I love. We got that across. And the hair is different. His eyes are still green, but in a different fashion. Whereas before it was like his whole eye was green with the black pupils. I realized that later, by the way. I didn't realize I had done that before. But when I was editing him, I was like, why are his... By the way. Stop it! There they go. Now they're out. Cats were running up and down chasing each other. So I had to fix that. So. The big change that those who may have noticed. He's actually smaller than he used to be. And I can show you how much so by going to scene. And I'm going to add a character. Ooh. Hold on. I gotta do that. Oh, I passed him up. Let me find normal Damien here. I got a lot of characters, okay. A lot of NPCs. Alright. So, this is both characters pretty much side to side. One literally a few, like, bits away from each other. And you know what? You know what? I will put the... Oh, whoops. We had another one. Let's get current Albatross on there as well to showcase, like, size and height comparison if I can. Trying to find a spot for him to stand that's not too obnoxious. Alright. So this is a bit more accurate to the size of the characters. I actually think he's a little bit further back than they are, which does kind of... doesn't help. Yeah, unfortunately, he's supposed to be moved up a little closer, but doesn't let me do that much editing to the scene stuff. But as you can immediately tell, he is much smaller than he used to be. He is apparently like 3'5" or something like that. He's a lot smaller than I thought he was. So we had to edit the size appropriately. And honestly, like, looking at these characters now side by side, it's such a stark difference. And it feels so strange to notice how, I guess, my original understanding of how Damien used to look compared to how he's supposed to look. It's such a difference, but it's so vastly noticeable that it feels weird. I guess also, since I'm just here, I could just showcase the other models. So I might as well. So let's get rid of... No, let's do this. Let's move him over here. Let's move him over here. That's a pretty good spot, actually. And I get, like, the good size comparison. Let me see. Oh, whoops. Shoot. Sorry. Just trying to figure this out. Let me remove that character. I'm going to, once again, hide. I'm going to add Old Gug. And specifically his half transformed form, if you will. Oop. Let's put him in the middle. So, this is Old Gug. And he's actually not too far off from the size he's supposed to be. I think he's actually supposed to be a little smaller than that. But, as you can see, he's got a lot going on, right? He's got, like, the lightning powers that he has normally and always used flowing through his body. And, if you know the lore-wise, the marks on his back that look like that of a lightning strike flow all the way throughout his body. And the issue I had with this specific rendition is the face. The face and the body, I mean, the body's kind of okay. I didn't like it 100%. It looked a little flat, but the face is the problem I didn't like. It just looked too, I don't know, too much like a person. Less like a man becoming a wolf. I mean, hell, his nose still looks like a nose. I wanted it to be a bit more bestial looking. And so, I did. Let's get to that part. Let me find him. Alright. I give you all New Gug. As you can see, he is much more bestial looking. His snout and stuff is appropriately colored as well, by the way, which is something I didn't realize I missed it before. And his hair is different. On this model, you will actually note his hair is very plain, but it's kind of like mangy-ish. But this one actually has a bit more of like a frantic design, like it just happened, just appeared, which I liked. As you can see, I just went crazy on the effects on this one, though. You have the lightning that's literally crawling up his spine and bursting out through his back. And you have the whatever the fuck this thing is. I don't remember what this thing was called. I'm just gonna call it a pike. The copper pike that he's using as his weapons. I think it's called a Yulwa. Yeah. The copper Yulwa that he uses as his main weapon when things get a little too hairy, and he is supercharged with electricity. And it just looks really cool. Like, this whole new design, you could feel the more bestial nature within him. and the power he wields as a sorcerer of the elements, basically, or the storm, if you want. However, I want to move him over here because I actually want to put him in the front here in this group. Actually, maybe we should put him right here. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to move everybody around to a point that I like. Yeah, that's really nice. However, I'm not done. Another showcase is to be had. 2 more, actually. Maybe 3, we'll see. So, the other thing I changed is, as probably expected, his much more monstrous form. The full moon transformation. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, I don't have the older one that I would have liked to have shown. So this is technically even an older version of it. Let's put him front and center for now. It's a little unfortunate. I was kind of hoping for a better one to showcase this, but this will have to do. So this is what his older one used to look like, right? You still have all that, but he's a lot bigger and bulkier than his current design, especially if I pull him up to, like, right behind him. You can immediately tell he's way bigger. Like, way bigger. Like, this dude's on his knees, and he's already, like, half the size of this guy crouching. Like, it's very noticeable. Let's move him back. But the issue I had with this specific model is it didn't feel detailed enough. It felt very lacking. And that bothered me a lot, because this is the form that happens when the full moon hits the sky, and he's supposed to, like, lose his mind and go crazy, right? This is that form. But something I always found funny is whenever I showcase this form in, like, the thumbnails, or not thumbnails, the tokens, he always had the stuff that he would normally have, like, his YOLO would be on his back, and the goggles would be on his head. And after thinking about it, I was like, if he was transforming into this bestial state, he'd rip those things off and he'd throw them. He wouldn't care about them. He wouldn't want to be packing around a weapon because it's not in his mind. He's a beast, not a man. A beast does not wear glasses or goggles. A beast does not carry a weapon. It carries its fury. Which is exactly what I would like to show you all. Because fury is exactly what we brought to the table with this new form. With the approval of Jacob, I give you all the new in blue, kind of, beast form of Gug. Tell me this isn't sick. Look at that. Now he really feels like a beast of element, a beast of the storm. It is literally pulsing throughout him. You see it even in his chest now, whereas before it was only on his back. You see it flowing through his tail, through his arms, all throughout him, and even out his mouth. And that's actually a reference to something, but I wanted to showcase this fury that was within his design that was missing in the other one. And I think I got it very well. And you could probably tell I am using the same base for this, because it does add enough detail, but it wasn't enough for me. So I changed the stuff that was on his, like, head. I added an extra patch of fur on his head because the goggles was actually obscuring some stuff. So once I removed the goggles, I saw he had, like, a bald spot, so I just went, hair. And then I added all this fur around him on the shoulders, on his chest, on his back. And what's funny is when I originally was making this model, I had ran out of stuff to place. As it turns out, there's a limit to how much you can kit bash. I had so much on his chest and on his back of these, like, little tufts of fur that the game, or that Hero Forge itself was just like, time out, stop, it's too much, nope, not gonna do it, I refuse. And so I had to delete a lot and then, like, make them bigger to cover more surface area to kind of still give off that, you know, the full covered body of fur. And it worked very well. I'm actually very pleased with this. And it's such a difference from that and this version of him Like, it's so night and day to me. So night and day. But, there you have it. Those are the new models. And now you're probably wondering, well, you've shown us Gug in his bestial forms and his half-bestial form. What about his normal one? Well, folks, I'm glad you asked. So, I haven't truly worked on his normal form yet. I have been waiting for a time where I could talk to Jacob about it, because I wanted to make sure everything was up to the standards that he would like for Gug to be in. So, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the two things that I have done, and then we're going to laugh at them together, because basically I dabbled in it on my own, and then I dabbled, and then I just kind of left it alone because I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to leave this too much to be just me messing with things. So, here you go. Can you tell which one I touched? And how much work I put into it? So for those who have a keen eye, you'll notice the left one looks exceptionally more old and ripped. Basically, that's all I did. I upped his detail a lot more, and as weird as it is, I actually think it's a massive improvement. But, as I said before, this is just me fiddling with the little bits that I think can be done. I still want to have Jacob look through everything, because he might not like this, and I will be honest, I wouldn't blame him. Because he is, at least, I don't see him as being, like, jacked in this exact state. They didn't have one that was as dumbed down, but didn't have as much detail. I don't like this because this is too detailed, or too little in detail. But I do like this because it has a lot more to show. But I do agree that it is a little much. It did a lot. It carried. I also was looking for a different hairstyle. And I'm gonna be honest, as simplistic as this hair is, there's just something about it to me that I think it's perfect. I like his current hairstyle. If Jacob wants to change it, we can. But like whenever I was looking at it, they had other haircuts that were similar to this one, but none of them hit like this one. They actually made him look so funny half the time when you would change the model. But regardless of all that, I will not be updating him until I have the full go-ahead of, and the eyes and ears of Jacob to tell me what he wants done to him. So this is, this is my current stop point for the models. But I cannot lie, it's looking really, really good. To kind of give you guys the showcase of how things are going. Let's see if I can do this. Let's put him here. Him here. Let's do this. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. The champion's corner right there. That's actually a really cool, like, that'd make for like a good thumbnail. Just do a solo episode. That is actually a great screenshot, by the way. I don't know why the shading is glitching out on Damien over here. He's having a bad time. I think it's because there's so many models on the screen right now, it's glitching out. But yeah, there's all the updated character models, and some that need to be worked on a little more. As I said before, I will say again, the Gug one is going to be worked on a bit more. Maybe his other wolf forms will get different clothing. We'll see if he wants to change that. Regardless, that's where that's at. And that's where we are at with the updates to Omen and the things I've been doing. I did make a new screen border. I guess I could show you all that. That's not too much to you know, shake a stick at. So let me click this. Ta-da! New border. Looks pretty slick. I gotta admit, I like what I did with the place. Yeah, I also have been working on this. I still have to make the icons of them speaking, but again, that has to be done when I can get Jacob's character fully finished. Once that's done, and I have the go-ahead, then we'll be super duper good. And also, a little hint. One of the reasons I'm being so meticulous with their designs is because I had planned to eventually trying to do a form of animation. It will be stop animation, but I want to do stuff with these character models for an intro scene that I feel like we've been lacking for a little while now. Regardless if it's something super detailed or not, we'll see. I might even see if I can have it created by hand. Maybe I'll show these designs and I'll show them off to some artist or something. See if I can have them do it. I don't know, because that stuff's really expensive. Obviously, I'm not myself an artist in that sense. I think modeling is something I'm more a fan of when it comes to using stuff that already exists. But regardless, there is where we are currently at with all of that. I'm going to remove this. Whoop. And yeah, so there is all of that. What I will now do is, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, we can work on some models, I guess. I have you guys' attention now. I mean, it's not impossible. Why did the shading glitch out so much every time I try to mess with things? I don't understand that. It's weird. Damien looks insanely weird when his shading does not apply correctly, and he does too. He looks like a cat. I don't know why it does that. But there's all of the updates that I have for you in this specific situation when it comes to that. There are some other things I can't reveal yet, obviously. But for the most part, that's generally it. The, hold on, I gotta look at something. I got some Discord notifications. I'm just making sure it's properly set up. Alright, because all that stuff we had earlier with the audio issues. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I think, I don't know. I'm like an hour in. I thought I'd be a little later in than this. We could play some games. This is a chill stream after all. I could also do some modeling. Is there anything that I need to oh, I know something I need to model. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna blind the screen again. I kind of forgot that I needed to do that, so we're gonna do this. I'm going to... Hold on, I just thought about something ingenious that I actually do need to update. Where is he? I gotta find Damien. Here's the new Damien. There he is. There is one change that needs to occur. Wait, was I in the new Damien one? I think I was. That's really funny if that's the case. There is one change that needs to occur, and you guys get to watch me do it, because I think that'll be fun. But for those that know, Damien's skillet got an upgrade, or his frying pan. During the very first boss fight, they managed to get the claw of the Elder Wendigo, the Omen cursed Elder Wendigo, and it had a property of, like, when you do a crit, or you hit like crit, I think it's like, it's either when you crit or now crits have like from a 19 to 20 type of thing, it deals a lot of extra damage. And we had him go to like a blacksmith or a weaponsmith to bring that property and apply it to his pan at a hefty cost of gold. At a discount because he had just saved the town. Regardless, let's make him a frying pan. Because that's actually real. That's just a lot of pans. Okay, so there's that frying pan. Is there another one? Or is that the only one? No, I think it's just this one. Yep. Just this one. That's okay. We can work with it. We can work with it. What's funny is, with it being this size, it's actually a little bit more... Okay, hold on. I'm actually not going to change much on it right now. It being this size, though, is actually a good thing. So now, I'm going to type in the word claw. Let's see if I get anything. What we need is, like, a bone appendagey thing. A little bone. Ooh, what's that? I'm actually going to apply that immediately to that if I can get this to work. That looks interesting. I'm guessing it's, by the looks of it, it's a bundle of bone arrows, which I think is what the item said. It is kind of neat looking, but I actually think it's too much of a bundle. What about this? Let's apply that to that. This could work. Does it have any, like, morph points? Like, I can, like, stretch and stuff. Okay. You can make it thick. I actually think there's a possibility for this to work in some form or fashion. Let me bring this into the pan itself. And then what I'm gonna do, let's keep increasing its girth. How big would I have to make it to hide the handle? We may have to make our own skillet pan, because this is looking like a dildo. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna make our own pan. Let's try this. So how about dish? Let's do this. I guess I could make it out of this. I don't think they have one that's like to my specification when it comes to the shapes. I would want one that's like thinner. How thin is this? No, that's not thin enough. Okay, so let's... where's the food stuff? Food. See if there's anything over here. A mixing bowl? So what if we took this and we shrunk it like that? Looks a bit like a toilet bowl, but then we made it bigger and then shrunk it some more. Bring it up a bit. It kind of looks like a pan. It's like got that on the bottom. I might actually be able to fix that, funny enough, but I'm gonna take a look at my other options. We have a palate. That actually just might be the better option, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna spin this. Actually, no, fuck that. We'll just keep looking at this, because every time I do that, it's like just a hassle to turn shit. Fuck it, never mind. I want to see what I'm looking at here. Alongside Damien. Let's spin it this way. Actually, no, I think having it upside up like that is actually a better choice. So, skillet has like those walls. That is something I didn't think about. Has those high-rise walls. Maybe I should have used the bowl. Hold on, let me see if I can bring back the bowl. Let's bring this up a bit. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, wait, hold on. I have an idea. Big brain idea. I'm brain blasting, guys. You don't understand, I'm brain blasting. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn that way. Let's bring it over here. It's at an improper angle, but that's fine. Nothing a little rotating won't fix. Looks pretty decent. Still at an angle that I'm not a fan of. Come on now. I don't know why the camera's doing this, but it is, and it is annoying. All right. Yeah, that's being weird to me. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not letting me, like, look around because they're not, like, central or in, like, the middle. So let me move these over here. They're not center fold. And the camera wants to always focus on Damien. Which, I mean, does make sense, but still. It's not what I want. Alright. Is that enough? I don't think so. What I should probably have done is pasted them both at the same time. I wish there was just a thing that was like, yeah, just straighten these out for me. Or like showed me their like angle percentage. So then I could just edit the numbers. Which I don't think there is. What's just in this? Oh. Well, I can't edit it directly. Where are you going, buddy? Huh? What? Huh? So why does rotating him just send him forever into the void? That is strange. Alright, we're just gonna focus on this for now and doing things the way that I do them because apparently the other thing just is a little broken. A little bit more. Oh, come on. Alright, there we go. Let's just try this. So close. It's so close. Is that it? I think we did it. Jesus. Alright. Nope, I can see there's an angle. Damn it. Damn you, you piece of plate. You ceramic piece of junk. Is that better? No. Alright. I'm gonna assume that's right. I'll bring this up. And bring it over. I may have to make it bigger. Alright, let me adjust. Like bring it up a bit. I could, like, do that. Let me see. If I just do this, right? What? Huh? And I swear, sometimes this thing doesn't make a fucking lick of sense. Hold on, let me look at that again. Why, though? Are you at a different axis for some reason right now? What? Why does flattening you do this? Why? That doesn't make any sense. That makes literally no sense. Alright, that's wonderful. So helpful. Love to see it. Also, being very salty about the fact that this thing is like not translating very well in the movements that I would like it to be doing. Let me stop and look. Looks like a toilet bowl. Right? Like that's just a toilet bowl. Am I right about that? Pretty sure I am. That looks to be about like the correct thickness. It is at a weird angle, though. I am now noticing this. I'll align my frickin' thing with these lines. Let me look at this. All right, now let's kind of widen this a bit so all of it's enveloped underneath it. And then what I want to do is I want to see if I can just bring this up and like fill in that spot at the bottom. It's pretty damn good. And it doesn't seem to be appearing inside. So I'm going to do this. Right, there we go. Now we have a skillet base that works well enough. It's a little out of sorts, but I think it gets the job done. Now let's see if we can add a handle. Back to the bone thing. Let's get out of the food section here. Bone. I do actually want to look at what else they have for bones. See, if I could get like that, that would be cool. Here's this as an option. It's not bad. It's a little basic, I actually think. But it's not bad. I want it to feel more like a claw, though. That's my big thing right now. I want it to be a claw. Or feel like a claw. Use a horn. There's a lot more bones in here than I thought, I'm gonna be honest. I would love to be able to use these wings for what I want, but I don't think it's gonna let me. Let me try this. It's a really big arrow. That's a really big arrow. We're gonna stab it with the really big arrow. But first, we're gonna shrink the really big arrow. About that big, and then I'm gonna squish the really big arrow. Maybe not that much. Let's kind of center it. And it's pretty close. Now let's bring it inside the bowl. So this is the problem, right? This is supposed to kind of meld with the base of, oh, whoops. With the base, or the top of it. But obviously there are some problems. Mostly that little nub. I could probably, I mean, that's actually not bad. And maybe I could put something else there to hide that little flange of an arrow. Do I still have... Let me see if I still have the picture of the claw thingy that I used. I should. I do want to be safe, though, in my assessment. I do. The gnarled claw. That's a lot. That's hard to actually detail. Just looks like a finger that's like, eh. So, what I think I will do then is I might actually... You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Change of plans. We're going to get rid of this. I have an idea. Because I literally designed it accidentally to be a finger. maybe not entirely accidental. What I'm going to do is this, right? Let's shrink it. Other way, please. There we go. This might work better than intended. If I can get it the way I want it. That's kind of nice. I'm going to be real. Very minimal work, but it does actually do a lot more than I had intended. Is that good? It's kind of poking through the top. Let me see if I can bring it down a little bit. I'm digging that. I'm digging that really hard, not gonna lie. I do think I need to move it over just a little bit. Yeah, that's really cool. Alright, and now... super simple. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go back to edit. That was so much more simple than I had expected. Now this whole pan is a single thing. So now we're just gonna go into coloring. So color, paints, no, mix. Let's see, the frying pan I think is this. Wait, hello. That looks nice. I actually really like how that turned out. And now that's the fun thing. Okay, so it is a bone. However, it's an evil bone. So we're gonna, maybe this. There we go. Look at that. My man's got a skillet. That's cool. All right. I like that a lot, actually. I do actually, though, hold on. I like it, but I do want to change it a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the highs here. We're going to just bring it down to black. I want it to look a little more withered. I'll bring it over to here and then bring it up. Also don't want that blue exactly, so I'm going to bring this into, like, the purples. Let me grab this. Let me see what this is exactly. So I'm thinking more middle ground. Shit. I'm trying to adjust to a color that I like. Let's see, so it's like the highlights of it. I do like that, actually. Now what I want to do is, so if I grab this, now they're all connected. I can bring this around. To a bit more of a blue. All right, there. There we go. Yeah, that's much nicer to look at. Much, much nicer. I kind of want to apply that color a bit to this. Let me try something. So let me duplicate this, right? But I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste it on this. And what I'm going to do... And then apparently, I did not realize there's so much to color. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it down into the black. We're going to give it this purple hue that is noticeable, but more difficult to see. And the reason, I like it. Do you need another reason? Let's be real here. Alright. This is going to be the fun part, because when I do this, it's going to delete the thingy that I like his hand to be holding. Alright, so pose this. Thankfully, I can just do this. And now I go to Kit Bash, grab Big Boy here. I can flip it. I can twist it. I can turn it. I can lock it. And now I can slap it into place at the pro angle, bro. Let's bring it back up. We're going to kind of have it float a little bit in the air. And now you're wondering, you're like, but that doesn't look good. The handle's not the right size. Well, that's fine, because neither is the pan. We're going to increase the size of both. Still give it that girth that it had prior. Now I'm going to take the pan and slightly angle it. Maybe make it a little bit more at this angle. Let's bring it up. Yeah. Actually, I think it needs to go at a more sharper angle. Cool. And now I should... Something about his hand. Hold on. Let me, like, twist his hand a bit. Actually, I know what it is. I know it's bothering me. I need to use the other grip. Wait, no. Is that the main grip? I thought there was a grip that was a bit more tighter. Maybe I should use the one that's actually like squeezing on it, like clenched fist one, maybe. Let's see how that looks. Let me find it. Where? Wait. That. No. Where's the clenched fist? Did I pass it up? I did. No, I don't like that. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll just do some quickie little edits with his fingies. We're gonna bring the pinky down a bit more around it. Same with the big fingy next to it. A little down. Alright. I want it to look like it's firmly grasping it. Thank you. That looks better already. I'm going to turn that. Actually, not turn it. Let's undo that. Let's have. Let's see. Let's do this. Other way. All right. Probably. Can I bring that further in is the question. I think if I do have to do this way. I'm trying not to make it look like he's breaking his thumb. That's pretty good. Like if you're holding something, that's you know, that's pretty good hold grip. I normally, if I'm holding something, it's like I cross my thumb over my 2 fingers, which is what's happening. I do think that's better looking. There we go. Nice. He has a pan now. So now what we do... Okay, so this is his right hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab his right hand. We're going to take this, and we're just going to slap it in the right hand. So now, if I ever move this right hand, the pan goes with it. There we go. Damien has his frying pan. So if I go to share, I go to... Oh dear, what is it doing? I don't know. We're gonna go to portrait. Look at that. It's hard to see, but he has the frying pan. I really need to turn off this weird effect that it's got going on here. I think it's bloom. I like the glowiness, but the fuzz that it brings is highly irritating. It like makes things shiny. In that regard, it's cool, but damn it. Look at him. He's got a frying pan of death. I actually really like it. It looks more like a wok now. I'm gonna be honest, that turned out way better than I thought it would. A very simple edit, but it works. Ugh. There we go. Well, I now have to replace... I now have to replace the other one. That's funny. Let me save. I'm also actually going to get rid of the blue. Or, sorry, this green coloring. I'm going to tone down this. I don't need it to be this bright anymore. I had a reason to do that originally, at least like in the color spectrum that it was in, but I don't really anymore. Alright, there we go. And if I did, it would be in like this shade more than anything, but I'm just going to stick with this. It's simpler, and I can just apply the effects in the photo software. There we go. Our rabbity boy has his new frying pan. Likelihood, I don't know if I'm actually going to change the thumbnail or not for that one. That seems like a lot of work for something you barely can see, because he's so small, but it will be changed for his token. So that'll be very pertinent. I might change the thumbnail, we'll see. But there's that. That was fun. I'm actually really happy with how quick that was to be made. Regardless of that, yeah, that's kind of everything I think that I am more than willing to talk about and kind of stream and help you guys come to an understanding of what's been going on. I hope you all kind of now could come to the realization of why I've been a bit busy lately. Don't worry, we're going to be coming back to the normal of stuff once things calm down a bit over here. And when it does come back to normal, things will be better. But until then, I think I'm going to stop it for here. I'll probably do more streams soon. I think tomorrow maybe I might be doing stuff with Primal. We'll see. That's kind of just based on how I feel at the end of the day. But I imagine I'll be fine. Regardless, thank you all for watching, and have a good one.